All right, everyone, today's the day. It's drafting day. It's drafting day. We've been working all week on this Machu Picchu thing. Today's the day we make it all come together. So if you have been able to keep up with me all week, then you are ready to draft today. If you turned in your organizer last night by like 8 o'clock, I was able to look it over, give you feedback, give you suggestions to help you out with today. If you did not get it turned in by like 8 o'clock last night, then you did not get any feedback from me because I'm not staying up that late to check over work. So if you have questions, make sure you let me know. So let me show you how we're going to do this. So yesterday you did your organizer. You filled out the intro, you filled out the two key ideas in yellow, you worked on the red, the evidence and the explanation, and then you kind of drafted a little bit about what your conclusion was going to look like. So when we draft this, which means when we actually write the essay, it's going to end up being 4 paragraphs. And I lined up the paragraph right next to the color so you can specifically see each paragraph. So, paragraph 1 is your green introduction. So, whatever you put in here, as long as you filled this part out and you came up with your hook and you came up with your background info and you came up with your thesis statement, then you're just going to type that as one paragraph. Okay. Now, I want you to actually, after you type your introduction, I want you to actually read it out loud to yourself because I want you to hear if it flows. I want you to hear if it makes sense. I want you to be able to hear if you need a transition word or if you need to add or delete words because it doesn't make sense when you put it all together. So type your introduction and then read it out loud to yourself and see if it sounds good. If you have anybody at home, have them read it and do the same thing. Okay. Then, once you have your introduction done, you're going to go into paragraph 2. And I put over here the format you should follow. And I kept the colors the same so you could just take this information and transfer it over here. So paragraph 2 should start with your yellow key idea, which we wrote yesterday. So this should be your topic sentence of your paragraph. And then you're going to follow it up with exactly what we worked on over here yesterday. You're going to follow it up with evidence, explain it, evidence, explain it. And you're going to do the same thing for paragraph 3. Okay, so paragraph 2 and paragraph 3 are going to follow the same format. You just have different things to plug into that format. It's like a math equation, right? You're going to plug in what you have for the yellow here and plug in what you have for the red here. All right. So, paragraph 3, same thing. Grab your key idea from here, grab your evidence explain from over here, and type that up as a paragraph. Again, when you're done with each paragraph, I want you to read it out loud to yourself. It's really important. That out loud part is super important because when you hear it, it's different than when you just read it. Because when you actually are saying it out loud, that's when you'll catch mistakes easier. So read it out loud and think like, okay, does this flow? Does it sound good? Do I need to add? Do I need to delete? What's going to make it sound the very best? I want you to do that after each paragraph. Okay. And then paragraph 4 is your last one, and that is your conclusion. It's where you should wrap it up. You should restate your thesis. You should kind of quickly, in like 1 or 2 sentences, go over what you've taught and then end it with a closing. It could be a quote, it could be a lasting idea that you want the reader to keep. It could be like a um, maybe you'll visit Machu Picchu one day. I don't know, something just to end it and to draw it to a close. Okay. Now, when you are writing these 2 paragraphs, okay? These 2 paragraphs right here, paragraph 2 and paragraph 3, remember that's really the meat of your essay. That's where all the good stuff should be. I want you to consider using some transitions between your sentences, okay? There's a whole list on here of ideas that you could choose from. So you could say, first of all, in fact, however, in addition, by comparison. These will all work in some way depending on your sentence. Now, not every sentence needs to start with a transition, but in order to make it flow, so when I say, when you read it out loud, it needs to flow together, what that means is that one sentence needs to flow to the next. And sometimes you need a transition in there to make it sound good. So I want you to try to see where you need transitions. And I'm giving you a list right here that you can use and just plug in. So take one of these that sounds good in your sentence and put it in there to make it flow a little bit better. Okay, so you're not just listing facts, but you're kind of making it flow. Like Machu Picchu would be a great place to visit. Maybe you say, not only does it have beautiful landscape, but it's also rich in history, right? In fact, did you know that 5 million people visit Machu Picchu every year? I'm totally making that up, by the way. But that's how you would use a transition. You would use it to help flow from one sentence to the next. So, again, as you're writing these two paragraphs, and even in your intro and conclusion, that's a great place to use transitions as well. But really, here, especially when you're trying to explain your text evidence, you might say, like in passage 2, paragraph 3, the author states this, and then you may want to use a transition to explain, like, not only is it this, but it's also this, like kind of a thing, so that you're able to explain and make it flow a little bit better rather than just like stating fact after fact after fact after fact after fact. Those transitions help it to kind of sound a little bit better and give your reader kind of a little bit of a pause while they're reading to just kind of say, like, okay, I see what we're doing. We're moving to the next idea. All right. So that is what you're going to do today. You're going to put it all together today in this format. It needs to be in this format. I should be able to look at it and say, yep, that's their key idea. Yep, that's their evidence. Yep, that's their intro. Yep, that's their conclusion. I should be able to see that just by looking at it. Okay. So let me show you. Here's your doc. I have it attached. So this is where you're going to type your essay. You're going to type your name here. You're going to type Mrs. Johnson here. I put teacher because Mr. Snyder's class is going to use the same one. So they'll need to change this to Mr. Snyder. You'll need to put Mrs. Johnson. And then ELA, you're either 7A, 7B, 8A, 8B. If you don't know, you can always ask and I will be happy to tell you. And then you're going to delete this and you're going to actually type your essay here. This is where your introduction is going to start. Okay. Now, let me hold on one second. Okay. I wanted to pull up an example. I have a student, one of my 8th graders, who has already written her essay. She's going to kill me for doing this. So sorry, Mallory, but I think that it is worthwhile for people to see a successful essay. So if you look at Mallory's, first of all, you'll notice that her paragraphs are divided. So I can easily tell this is paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4, and she actually wrote an extra paragraph. She put another paragraph in there in the middle of another category that she wanted to discuss about Machu Picchu. In addition, I can easily see she has a hook. I can tell because she's asked a question. She has a very clear thesis statement that tells me exactly what her essay is going to be about. And then each paragraph has her topic sentence, and then it has evidence, explain, evidence, explain. It follows that format every single time. In addition, she used transitions. Another reason Machu Picchu is a great tourist attraction, she's using transitions. Look at this one. Another example. Those are all transitions and they just kind of help it flow. Now, not every sentence starts with a transition. That would be too much. That would be a lot. You wouldn't want to start every sentence with a transition, but some of them in there kind of help break it up a little bit. And then I know this is her conclusion because look what she puts in conclusion. She's telling me, like, here's the end. In conclusion, and then she kind of restates her thesis. She talks about what she taught us in this essay, and then she ends it with, her ending. This is why you should maybe consider visiting Machu Picchu. This is a very successful essay. Okay. She has followed the exact format. She's used transitions. I can easily see her green, yellow, and red. It's very clear. And it's just very well written. So I wanted you to see at least a structure of what one looks like to be able to see how it should look, how yours should look, and how it should be done. Okay. So I think that is it for me. I will have class open at 10 o'clock for the eighth graders and 12:30 for the seventh graders. I sent you all an email with a link that you can use if you want to come in and just work on this during that time. You are welcome to do that. That way you can ask questions. And also Friday, I can set up individual meetings with people on Friday if you would like to do that as well. I am more than happy to sit down with you. I won't write it for you, but I will certainly help walk you through it. Okay. You just have to ask. So I think that's it. Good luck, have fun, and I'm anxious to see what you come up with based on the work that you've been doing all week long. All right, guys, have a great Thursday.